Step up your curb appeal game. On this episode, we are going to be transforming 4 different exteriors on 4 different homes and giving them each a curb appeal makeover, taking them from ordinary to extraordinary. My hope for you is that by the end of these transformations, that you will have inspiration for your next outdoor project. Let's get started.
It's just so gross. It's like dead skin. It's like peeling it off. It's kind of gross, but you have to do it. Today we are taking care of this front door, as well as giving the front of my house a little bit of a makeover. A little more than a year ago, we had the entire exterior of our home professionally painted, but this is definitely a project you can DIY yourself depending on your budget. Almost all of it looks fantastic. The one area that it doesn't is this front door. From the research that I've done, it looks like there might have been like some moisture issues, so I didn't know if it was just too humid the day that it was painted, but it's gotten really bad. But the rest of our house looks amazing. The paint's holding up fantastic. I wasn't really sure what to do with this door because I didn't know if like stripping it would even work, if there's something wrong with the door, if we just repaint it and then it would look like this in a month or two. So what I've decided to do is we are getting a brand new door. I decided to treat myself this time. I called in a professional. I pretty much DIY everything on this channel. I've even built my own fireplace, but it's an affordable price that I'm okay with. We don't have to DIY absolutely everything all the time. Before he gets here, we need to go in and paint it. I want to paint it indoors so that we don't have a repeat of that. I just wanted to play it safe. I'm going to paint it indoors. So I've got this on my dining table. I know, crazy, right? But I laid down a blanket first and then I covered it up with a painter's drop cloth. I've got everything taped off, including the glass that will be in our brand new door. Isn't this gonna be pretty though? And I've decided to paint it in this Modern Masters front door paint. I read the reviews, it seems really good. I've done a full tutorial on how to paint a door. Basically, we're gonna start with the inside and then we're gonna roll it. Honestly, I thought about spraying it, but again, I'm running into the humidity factor and I don't have a basement. So I tried the Modern Masters paint and it was just absolutely terrible. This is what it looked like after 2 coats. Streaky, blotchy, and just absolutely horrific. And it was giving me nightmares of a repeat of our current door situation. I honestly don't know what all the fuss is about because this just might be the worst paint I've ever used. So then I took a trip and got some Sherwin paint at Lowe's, 1 coat of this, and we were absolutely back in business. And the door is ready to be installed. My new front door is in. I love it. It is so beautiful. I need to still paint around the casing because this is a different color. And you know, from installation, there's like some fingerprints. We'll clean that up. Now to address this window. I love the light that it's bringing into the inside and also the detail that it brings to the outside. I love this door. But even though we're putting up a wreath, we like our privacy. So up top, I had frosted that and I used like a spray-on frosting. But I'm not convinced that I want permanent frosting on this window, but I've got a really fun hack that uses contact paper to kind of disguise and filter the light, but without the permanent feature to it. And best part is it's going to cost us $1 because I picked up the contact paper from the Dollar Tree. So very affordable. I like that. So to do this, just cut out your $1 contact paper just a little bit larger than the window pane. Lightly mist with a water bottle and then stick your contact paper to the window and smooth it out using some kind of flat scraping tool. Then you're going to take a razor blade and cut off the excess as close to the edge as possible. Now my water bottle went a little overboard and was pretty blotchy with the way the water sprayed out, and a few days later the water bubbles are still dissipating but should be gone really soon, so don't be alarmed if this happens to you as well. This might take a few days to fully look right, but it does give a nice beautiful frosted look without the long-term commitment and the heavy price tag. We had a little accident on our driveway. How many of you have had this happen? We just kind of thought that we're left with this and that we might need to rip out some of these pavers and replace them. Well, before we do that, I want to try degreasing it and try to see what we can do. So I got this off of Amazon. It's a degreaser. It had really good reviews. So we're gonna see if this works. I also got this little brush. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pour this on our grease spots, scrub it really good, let it sit for 15 to 20 minutes, and then I'm gonna break out our power washer and power wash our driveway. After 2 treatments, I would say this process gave me about a 60 to 70% improvement over what it was before. So I am really happy with these results, but I think that if I give it a couple more treatments, I can get it all the way removed, because this has been sitting on our driveway for months now, and it might take a little extra effort to get it all the way out. So one day my husband surprised me and ripped out some garbagey looking bushes that I've been complaining about for months, and it revealed some sandbags that we had gotten for a hurricane that almost was, but never happened. So I am going to relocate those out of my front garden bed. This is going to be a good workout. So it's about 90 degrees outside. We've been working really hard. So I'm on my way to Home Depot to pick up some plants, some mulch, and some other odds and ends that we are going to need to complete our makeover. So let's go shopping. Okay, so I'm gonna get some jasmine because it smells good and I think it's pretty easy to grow. I'm kind of going for an all white flower theme, and now I'm gonna go try to find some gardenias because I'm feeling gardenias and jasmine. It's gonna smell amazing and have that white and green look that I'm looking for. All right, I found our gardenias. They're beautiful. Some black mulch and a few more flowers and we are all set to go. Now it's time to unload our goodies and lay them out in our garden bed. It has been 91 degrees today, but we got a little bit of a cloud cover right now and a little bit of a breeze. So I am so grateful for that because we are about to plant up these. I kind of have it laid out how I want. I'm not a master gardener, but I do have a little bit more success having it in the ground versus the pot where I consistently kill things. I've got gardenias, jasmine, and I did end up getting some lavender because I thought we needed a little something else, and I thought it was like a nice soft pretty color. I'm gonna just dig holes, and then I've got some black mulch. We're gonna mulch all the beds. When we bought this house, there are no light fixtures here. Well, it's wired for it. I see the electrical spots for it on either side. We are gonna add some new lighting on either side of my garage door. I am gonna do this myself, and I ordered these light fixtures off of Amazon. Really excited about that. They're really cute. You may wanna call in a professional to do this. This is something that I'm comfortable doing on my own. And one of the cool things about these light fixtures are that they have a sensor that automatically turn them on at night and turn them off at dawn. Now, after all of our hard work to make our house look really beautiful, it would be a shame to leave something as unattractive as this yellow doorbell. Now, we decided to upgrade to a Google Nest doorbell device, but you don't have to spend that much on a doorbell to make it look much more finished. There are some beautiful black ones that you could get for around $12. As for this one, it's an easy install and the app walks you right through the process, basically holding your hand all the way. I can't vouch at this point for how much we will like the Nest doorbell, but so far, so good. Plus, it just looks pretty darn good, don't you think? Now it's time for all of the finishing touches. I'm so excited. This is gonna be great. Do you have a pot that looks a little like this? Black, but it's kind of dull. It's plastic. Well, I've got a hack for you. This is another use for WD-40. This won't be a permanent fix, but it should last you a good while. What we're gonna do is just spray this on and rub it all over, and it will give us a nice like new shine. How awesome is this? Seriously, gotta love WD-40. After letting the WD-40 dry, we drill a couple of drainage holes into our pot. I believe this is why the previous plants did not do well, because of poor drainage. A little potting soil, some carefully selected perennials that should do well in full sun, and an old DIY, which I will link in the playlist, complete this look. Next, I add some solar-powered LED spotlights for accent in the garden. I also ordered some garden lights by the pathway, but they showed up the wrong color, so I'll have to add those later. And of course, we add all of our fun DIYs. So one last touch for all of my longtime viewers, you might recognize this. I thought it would look cute at the end of my pathway here, and now it's time to show you the final result. And voila, the finished look. I can't believe we finally made it. All the effort was well worth it in the end. Door, isn't it so beautiful? I love it. So we moved into our home a couple of months ago. You would know that I wasn't the biggest fan of all the exterior colors. I've really honed it down to the fact that I'm just not really digging this combination right here. And there's a couple things going wrong with this door. I just think that it's all wrong for this more kind of cinnamon stucco color that we have. We will be painting this black. Now, what I would really love to do is to change out these doors. One of the reasons I wanted to replace them is because you can see that there is some clouding inside the window. So that means the seal has been broken. I don't really know what that entails or how expensive that would be. And so eventually I would really love to see something with a little bit more punch to it on these doors. But in the meantime, we're gonna paint them. And you can see that there is gold accents in the window panes, but we have a silver handle. And I don't know why they did that. You'll have to stay tuned to see what I end up going with, if I go with brass or with another option. So this is one of the areas that we're gonna fix on this episode. We're gonna be sprucing up the curb appeal overall. So let me share with you some of the other problem areas that I'm hoping to fix. You will recognize these urns. I have WD-40'd them a couple of times and done a couple of different iterations in these pots, and they are looking pretty tattered. And I don't wanna replace them. They weren't like uber expensive, but replacing them with something else would get kind of expensive. So we're gonna try to extend the life of these out a little bit longer by spray painting them. It is plastic, so I'm not sure how that will go. I've got a product that I think might work, but we'll see. Another couple of projects that I wanna do is we did damage the corner of this column when we were moving in, and so I'm going to attempt to repair that. And I've got a really awesome project that we're gonna do right at the base of each one of these pillars here that is really going to dress up the base of the pillars, and it might involve cement, so that'll be coming up shortly as well. So these flower beds need addressed. Not only are some of the bricks kind of toppled over, so we're gonna try to fix those. We've got some rust on this windowsill that we're gonna just touch up. I think it would require a little bit more extensive repair than I'm comfortable doing right now, so I'm just gonna do some touch-up paint, and then later down the road it might need something else. I'm not sure what. We are missing a bush in the middle, so I hopefully can find something to put there that will balance that out. I always felt like this house was very orangey, very red, and they've really played that up by putting red bark in the beds, and I think if we switch that out for another color, it might tone it down a little bit more and make me like it a little bit better. Now down the road, I would really love to see like a wood garage door or something like that. And there are techniques that we could do. I just haven't settled on a color, and I'm not sure what stain would work really well with the color of our stucco. So I am going to leave these this color, but I have a quick, simple fix that will make them look a million times better. So that's coming as well. Okay, we've got to remove this hardware before we sand, so that if there's any like indentations from the existing hardware, we can smooth that out. So we're gonna just take that off, and it's not coming back. We're gonna make quick work of this.
So we've got 2 coats of paint on this door, and it was like the thickest paint I have ever used. It was like cake batter. So it went on really, really beautifully. And I did end up deciding to paint this outer trim here black, and I really feel like it mimicked the windows above and really made this stand out and pop even more. So I'm really excited. And then we're gonna paint the interior of the door. I figure I might as well do that now because I do want to paint it black. And before I go ahead and put on the new hardware, I think that we need to do that. Before we do anything more on the door, we're gonna let it cure a little bit. And while we do that, we're gonna go into the garage, my workshop, and work on another really amazing embellishment. And that is a lion head. Now, I bought this mold on Amazon, and all we're gonna do is take the mold, we're gonna spray it in some kind of cooking oil, and then make sure you kind of rub that in so there's not any like puddling of that at all. And then you're going to mix some concrete, and basically the consistency you want is the consistency of like an oatmeal. And I'm using one that's called a joint compound mix or something like that. I did one without measuring, and then I did it again where I filled up the mold first to find out how much concrete we needed, and then I added water to that, and that gave me a little bit more accurate reading and not so much excess. And then once you've got your concrete mix, you're going to pour it halfway full. Then you're going to tap it to let any air bubbles settle, and then you're going to fill it up the rest of the way. Now, then I let this set up anywhere from 30 minutes to 2 hours, and it kind of depends on the climate, how humid it is that day, how much water you have in it. Basically, when it's just starting to get firm, I took a heavy wire and I bent it in half, and then I made little hooks that hooked into the concrete, and then I set that into our mold and concrete and let that dry. And that needs to dry at least 24 hours, so we're going to let that sit, and we'll come back to it in a bit. Oh my goodness, it is about 1 billion times better. 2 coats of paint on both sides, and it's made me fall in love with this exterior. It looks so much better. I'm gonna be using a lot of brass accents in my home, and there is brass in the glass, but I've decided to go with a little bit more sleeker, modern look out here, and I have got black hardware that we are going to put on here to kind of just make it all very streamlined and seamless. I've got a really cool keypad that's very contemporary looking that we will be using for our bolts, and so we're going to install that now. This is adjustable, so we can line it up in this hole right here. Well, that's a bummer. Apparently there was another hole down here, so I may have to fill that, patch that paint, but here we go. To Home Depot to get a couple of supplies. We need to get some bushes and some mulch and just a few things to really spruce it up and make it look beautiful, and kind of all the finishing touches. So let's head that way. A significant light, just where it was needed, gleaming black as night. Okay, this looks similar to our bushes, but these leaves are more round, but I thought it was a boxwood, but
these leaves look a little bit different. I think they were a little bit more pointy. I'm not sure. Okay, I actually think that the leaf is a little closer to this, and I am actually looking for kind of a topiary. I was hoping for a cypress, but I don't know if that's in the area or like that would even grow here. This one's nice. I also saw one up front that I might look at as well. Okay, I saw this other topiary that I'm trying to decide between. This one seems a little bit bigger, but that one seems a little bit more manicured. This one's $10 cheaper. I'm so torn. These other ones in the back are taller, and I like that, but they look a little dead. And we all know my track record of keeping plants alive, so I don't think starting with something that's kind of dead is a good idea. I don't think I'm going to be reviving it anytime soon, so which one should we go with?
The trees will bloom and ice will melt. We'll always remember how it felt.
Okay, so we got this one from Home Depot, and looking at it, it's close, but you can see that it's a different color green, and maybe that would change with the soil. I don't think so though. So I had an idea. This little bush right here is kind of out of the way and not like super noticeable. It's kind of in a hidden spot. So I think we'll just dig this one up and transplant it over there so that it matches the other ones. And then maybe we can replace it with something else down the road, but I don't think anybody will notice that it's missing. Our front door is done, and I am thrilled with the result. It's 1,000% improvement. It really makes me love the exterior color a lot more. I think it really did come down to the clashing of the door, and I've even had some neighbors pop in and say, oh my word, your front door looks so much better. Okay, now we're gonna dress these garages. They are very typical, standard looking, and I thought about staining them to look like wood, but I just didn't know if I'd love it. There's so many other projects that I need to get to first that I wanted to do something a little bit simpler, and I thought this would be really good for the rest of you. Now, they make magnetic little faux carriage hinges that are so convincing. They look so good, and they are like a 2-minute project, maybe 5 minutes since we have a couple of garage doors, but let me just show you how these work. I think I paid less than 20 bucks for each one of these garage doors, and we are gonna just attach them now. They have very strong magnets, so here we go. I'm gonna show you how this works. So basically you're gonna wanna put 2 hinges on either side, and I'm short, so we're gonna have to stretch here. So there you go. Voila! So easy. We don't even have to use any kind of drill or anything. We're gonna just put one here, and then over here. Let's make sure we match it up on this side, and you just kind of go all the way to the edge. Now, the only thing that's weird are these handles. I think they look really, really good, but I can't put them like in the middle of a panel, and then there's not like a lot of space, and you can't put them touching here. So what I think I'm gonna end up doing is putting them in on an angle here, and you can't really tell that they're on an angle, but then I think that it's a better spot, and we'll just put those right there. Make sure that they are spaced the same, and if you don't have it quite right, you can just make little minor modifications. That's it. I don't even know, what did that take us? Less than a minute? It looks amazing, so let's do it over on my small door. That was so easy. You could totally do this if you, as long as you have like a metal door that they can magnet to. It looks so good. Okay, This doorbell is a little dated and a little boring. So I replaced the one at my last house with a Google Nest, and we are gonna replace this one with a Ring. I just wanted to give it a try to see if there was any sort of difference. The Google Nest was fine. I just saw good reviews on this and I thought, let's do it. What's awesome about this is it has a quick start guide, and so hopefully it's pretty easy to do. So you just take this little piece of paper and it has a QR code that you can just click on, and it will take you to some instructions that will walk you right through it. So hopefully that will get us going, and you have to download an app for Ring. So we're gonna do that. Well, it will go in, but then it shows all this ugly, so we're gonna move that up. We're gonna just drill new holes, which will actually be just fine for my drill because it was meant to drill into masonry. We're gonna put in a masonry bit, and then you're gonna wanna put it on the hammer drill setting, which is the one that has the hammer, and then make sure it's in 2. All right, here we go. Now let's take in one of our bits, push that in. Okay, we're gonna switch that back into drill mode, put in. Okay, we'll see if this works. There we go, perfect. Now we can drill in the bottom one. Woohoo!
Now installing an update. This may take several minutes.
Okay, I'm gonna dump the dirt out of these so we can work on them. And I noticed this is kind of a little bit of a low point over here, so I was gonna save this soil, but I think we can just use it right here and kind of spread it out. So I'm gonna clean these up and we're gonna spray them. Okay, voila! Isn't that awesome? I love this so much. Now, we could paint it and all of that, but I really wanted to leave it in the stone state because that's the way I typically have seen it. Some of them have faux finishes, but I just wanted to try it out, and if I don't like it down the road, we can add some sort of finish on it. So we are going to hang it. We're gonna drill a hole right in the grout line. I've got to measure out exactly where that's gonna go. So we're gonna measure the length of the lion head, center it right here, and then we're gonna drill right in the grout line so we don't damage the tile. Just in case I ever wanted to remove it, all we'd have to do is patch the grout, which would be a much simpler task. So it needs to be sturdy, and my drill can handle getting pre-drilling for the Tapcon screw. A Tapcon screw is just this is meant to go in masonry. They're very sturdy, very heavy duty, and the concrete lion's heads are heavy, so that's what we're gonna do. So we need about 3 inches up top, 3 inches down bottom, and this so happens to be exactly 3 inches. So I'm just gonna put that right underneath here so we know that we're measuring down from there. Now I need to flip it over and measure how much we've got here, and that is 3/4 of an inch. So then we'll measure down at 3/4 of an inch, and that's where we'll drill our hole. Okay, so we should be able to get our screw in there now, but like I said, I'm gonna have to use a impact driver. I need an impact driver, don't I, on my line? Eventually. So you're gonna need an impact driver to do this because you gotta fit that over the Tapcon screw head. And then I gotta be honest, I am not loving the gap on the side here. So I'm gonna live with it for a while to see if I love it, which I'm thinking I am. Then I might make these again without the little hanger hook and then permanently affix it with like some construction adhesive or something, because yeah, this gap is just not working for me. All right, we got those bricks all straightened out. Now we just need to do it on the other side and also plant a bush right there. I'm pretty sure that I'm doing this all wrong. I'm probably doing it at the wrong time of day. I'm probably digging it up wrong, but hopefully it's hardy enough to just take hold and thrive where I'm moving it to. So crossing fingers. I just dumped it and completely saturated it in water. I'm going to let it sit for a minute and hopefully that will make it easier to dig out. I'm about ready to give up, but I think it's just been tricky because it's so close to this tree that I feel like it's intertwined with it. If I get this out, we're going to have to take a poll on like whether we all think that I'm going to kill it transplanting it. It's a real possibility. I hope not. Please root for me. But let's poll right now. Is Natalie gonna kill this bush or is it gonna live? I won. But the real question is, at what expense? So, everybody cross your fingers that this little bush survives. I really hope it does. There is a sprinkler head right next to it, so maybe that will give it some good chances. And then of course some black mulch in the beds and some final finishing touches. Now some of you might be asking, is she potting faux plants with real potting soil? Why yes I am. If you've been following my channel for a while, you know that I am a serial plant killer, and so I wanted the look of potted topiaries, and I had these already, so I potted them up. We are about to get started here. Yesterday, we hired a painting crew to come help us with the exterior. Now, the pricing was so good and affordable for what we're needing to do here that it just made sense for our time and all of that to hire that out. I did end up deciding on a paint palette from the Homeowners Association. I didn't really love it, and I hope that once it goes up on the house that it will change my mind. I really had hoped to do an existing palette on a home, but they redid the paint palettes for the association a year ago. Even like the older ones that had been painted before, we can't do those. We can't, even if we decided to repaint the entirety of our home, keep our original paint color. It's all super weird. What I did decide on, the body is going to be worldly gray, so the bulk of the house is going to be worldly gray, and unfortunately we have to paint the garage door and the front door the same color. I don't know why on earth they would do this. No accent colors like on those. To me, painting the front door an accent color is the way to go. It really draws people in, but no, we can't do that. And the garage door I also think would be good a different color, but no, that's the same color as the whole house. Then the pop outs, those are going to be what's called porpoise, and these are all Sherwin-Williams colors, and I'll link them below because if it ends up turning out great, then you'll have them. And we did the best we could with the color palettes that we had to choose from. So like down here on the bottom, that's going to be a pop out. We've got the pop outs around the windows and all of that. Then the trim work, which is the stuff underneath the eaves of the house, and then around the front door, and then there will be some accents in the back that you'll see in another episode. That is all black fox. So that is our paint palette. Yesterday they came and pressure washed the house, got everything really, really clean. It looks a million times better, but it still needs a lot of patching in the stucco and all of that. It hasn't been painted since probably before we purchased it. So that's like probably 15 years or so. It's due for a paint job, and like I said, we can't just go with what's here already. There's pluses and minuses of HOAs, but this is one where I'm like, but it does prevent like some crazy colors on houses. So right now they are prepping. So they're taping off all the windows. They are covering anything that shouldn't get painted. Tomorrow they're gonna start painting. So let's cover the curb appeal design plan. And the first thing that we are gonna be doing is beefing up the curb appeal by painting the whole house. So that's the first thing we're doing, but we've already covered that. Then I'm not having them paint this because we are getting a new front door. This one, even if we like worked on it a lot, I don't think it will do well for the house. Right here we have this bricked area that's different than the walking path and all of that. I think that this is an opportunity to add some kind of planters. Overall, like landscaping looks pretty good. We do need to do a little bit of weeding and stuff. I do think it could use a little color, but you know my experience with planting things, but I have a landscaper to keep it alive. So maybe if we plant it, then I'm not the one who's actually caring for it, then maybe it will actually live. So maybe that's coming. And then over here, you'll notice that there is no like garage lighting, right? I've ordered some solar powered exterior garage lights that I'm super excited to try out. It may not give like a ton of light, more just like ambient light at night. And then of course, garage magnets and all kinds of things. So I will pepper those throughout the episode. I think the first thing we need to do is just get out of the way, let them finish prepping the house, and then we will paint it. Or I won't paint it. They'll paint it, but we'll watch them paint it. Actually, we'll probably be doing another project inside, but I'll make sure to capture some footage of this process as well. So. Oh my goodness, they've already done a coat of paint and it looks like the exact same color as it was before. That is so funny.
Dreaming of you.
I've got my brother-in-law Jared here. He's been helping me with a whole bunch of stuff around the house, and he is going to replace the front door for us, and so it will be a brand new one. Dolly is being so good with all of the construction. She's just going with the flow, aren't you, sweetie? Are you going with the flow? And she's looking to see what's going on, and that is Jared's removing the door. But she's being such a good girl, aren't you? Aren't you? You're such a good girl. I am not gonna be sad to see this thing go. Yikes.
We got it out. Good job, Jared. Okay, so here is the situation. Our door, we didn't realize, is meant for 2x6 construction, but all of the in-stock doors are now 2x4. And so we're trying to troubleshoot, like, what are we gonna do? And so we might be getting a new front door because it looks prettier than the one I originally got, but we're just trying to brainstorm how it's gonna work and be safe and everything we need it to be. I have faith in Jared.
Something like that, right?
He's gonna figure it out for us. Look at the difference between those two doors. The before and after is gonna be huge. That looks so good. Here comes the new front door. New front door looks so amazing. Can't wait for it to be finished off. It's nice having an electrician's help this time. So Jared's taking care of my light for me. I don't have to do it myself, yay! Looking good. All right, we have made a ton of progress on this curb appeal. It's looking so much better. I even am not minding the paint colors, even though I didn't select them. It is what it is. And if you hear noise in the background, that's because we've got a lot going on here. So we've got oh, my cutie husband. Okay, so we painted the exterior. We've got a brand new front door. We've got a brand new light fixture here, but I gotta show you the doorbell situation because I had a plan and I've got to reevaluate. Normally, I would like to switch this out and do a smart thing, but if you look at this, it is like essentially like stuccoed in. It's not going anywhere. You know, it's not super ugly, but it doesn't go with all of the black accents that I've already put on there. So what we're gonna do is we are gonna tape around it, then I'm gonna take a straight edge and make sure that we tape it off really good. I'll cover around it, and then I'm going to spray paint it black so it matches. So that's what we're gonna do right now. I really don't want to mess up the new paint job, so I'm literally gonna taking cardboard and gonna try to protect this. Hopefully we protected it enough. Let's go. That looks pretty good. I'll let that dry and then I'll come do a second and maybe a third coat just to make sure it lasts. This doesn't want to stay on. I think the heat is making it not want to stick, so I might get stuck with just one more coat if I can keep it on, and then I'll pull it down. Let's hope it sticks. Before it falls off on its own, I'm just gonna remove it and hope for the best. Yeah. How's that for some curb appeal? That'll help sell it. Just kidding. Hopefully that gets picked up before the end of this episode. It's looking really chaotic right now, but what I wanted to talk about was right here on either side of the garage. There is no lighting, no garage lighting. Wiring something like that after the fact would be really, really expensive. This, hands down, is the coolest thing I've ever found on Walmart.com. This is a solar-powered light fixture that actually has some light to it, and what's really cool is it's dawn to dusk, so it will turn on when it gets dark and shut off when it gets light. Also cool is like when there's motion around it, it brightens up a little bit. It's not like a motion like sensor light, but it does brighten up with if people are around, and it just looks so super legit. Nobody's gonna know that this is not hardwired, and we are going to mount it right now. One of the coolest things about this amazing drill, or one of the many cool things, is it has a hammer setting, meaning that it's set up to go into masonry, stucco, concrete. It should go in theory, no problem. So let's line this up and start slowly, and then we'll speed up as we go. Oh yeah. That was easy peasy. That was like nothing. It comes with some mounting anchors, and so we're gonna just put those in, tap them in carefully. Okay, so we're gonna just take the mounting bracket, screw it into our anchors, and then we will be able to hang our light. I'm so excited. Let's check level. There we go. Perfect. Cover that up and it might pop on. See? Isn't that awesome? I'll show you at night, but that is so cool. It's 8 o'clock in the morning and it is already wicked hot out here, but I want to plant these bougainvillea bushes because I think that they're very like quintessential Arizona. You see them on the sides of the freeway. I've always thought they were beautiful, and we need a little color for our curb appeal makeover. Now, if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I am just a serial plant killer, so I'm really glad that we have a landscaper who will care for these when I'm gone and hopefully make sure that they thrive. And so the first thing we're going to do is move the rocks out of the way so that we can plant them, and then I might see how hard the dirt is. It looks kind of hard, so we may put some water on the dirt, let it sit for a second so that we can hopefully dig in there and hopefully not damage anything to the sprinkling system. So wish me luck.
Reach out to the sky. I found my way. I found my way. I was in the dark against it all, but made it through the day. 'Cause I found my way. I found my way.
I gotta be kind of careful because these have thorns on them. Try to not injure myself. Okay, careful now. I don't want to get poked and get all of that nutrients in there. I think that there's some fertilizers that they put in with them. Loosen up the root ball a little bit. And it is definitely deep enough. Now I'm just gonna add some water and then we'll backfill.
My way, my way, my way, my way. 'Cause I found my way, my way, my way, my way, my way. 'Cause I found my way, my way, my way, my way, my way. 'Cause I found my way, my way, my way, my way, my way.
Okay, I love them. They're planted. Let's all hope they survive. I think they're meant to survive in drought conditions, and I won't be caring for them, so they should be okay, right? Right here that leads up to the front door, there is just kind of this brick area. And what I am thinking is we will take a planter pot that I have over here behind my other camera, and you can get a little sneak peek of what we've got going here. Yes, they are fake. But if I know anything about Arizona, that there is a huge water shortage, so anything that's really drought tolerant, like fake plants, is good. And these have UV resistance, and so I'm just gonna put some potting soil in the bottom, maybe take one of our planter pots that we just took from the bougainvillea to put on the bottom so that we don't have to put quite as much soil in, and then we'll just stick them in there.
In bad times, I know I'll be okay, 'cause I found my way. 'Cause I found my way.
A plant I cannot kill. That's my kind of plant. I think I need this in Florida. It looks so good. So this area leading up to the front door has some bare spots of rocks, as well as over here. But we have a wealth of rocks kind of over here where you don't even notice. So I'm just gathering some up. We're gonna redistribute the rocks. You've seen me use these before on other projects. These are just magnetic carriage door stuff. I'm not sure that the HOA is gonna allow for it, but they're magnetic. So if they hate it, they can just come pluck it off. And in the meantime, it's gonna dress it up. So we're gonna add these just like we did on my Florida home. And hopefully it beefs up the curb appeal a little bit more. So just magnet them on. These magnetic hinges are absolutely one of my favorite things because it's so simple and just an easy way to dress up your garage door. And I think it looks great. I might fiddle around with these ones a little bit more. They're not quite jiving for me. What do we think of that? There's just a lot of construction dust and stuff, so we're gonna clean this up. Makeover on our forgotten Arizona flip is done, and I am thrilled with the results, mostly. We are going to be doing a little curb appeal boost on our main Airbnb, and so it's a little tired and it just needs a little love so that it's a warm and welcoming space. Our exterior probably is getting due for a paint job, but it's particularly bad right at this front porch area. So I may just scrape up some of the boards, and because of the lip, hopefully it won't be as noticeable, and it's the existing paint that we've already had. But like over here, this is not too bad if we clean it up. But if you look at this one, this is just trashed. So you'll be working on that. And then this front porch is due for stain as well. Plus this light fixture probably needs to be switched out. Maybe get some fresh wreaths. This one has cobwebs and it's just looking very, very tired. So we'll get this front porch a little love. The first thing that we're gonna do here is we're gonna start scraping off this peeling paint. It's really, really bad, and we can't paint over the top. We need to prep it a little bit better. We're gonna also do some of these bottom pieces here. So let's start scraping and get it prepped. We've got a small window of sun coming out, so we don't have much time to get a lot of painting done. So we got to do a little prep while we're waiting for the sun. Sweaty because it's humid, but we did a good job. I think we're ready to touch up paint. This is just a kind of like a patch job, like a lipstick on a pig for a second until we can paint the whole house, and then they'll have to redo this anyways. I just wanted it to look a little bit better than it did. Now that we've got it looking all gross, let's go see if we can find any paint. I think we have some in the shed. Whether it's usable or not, that's another question, so let's go see. Yes, house, we have some old toilets. Over here is the paint. I hope it's still good. I should probably have paint clothes on, but I don't really bring paint clothes. Ugh. I don't know. I don't think this is salvageable, but let's give it. Yeah, no, that's toast. I have one more bucket. We'll just see. That one looks about the same as that one, but there's more in it, so let's see. Nope. These are toast. So it's not as simple as running to the paint store. It's about a 30-minute drive into Brunswick, which is the neighboring town, but we have no choice. Our paint is no longer good, which, you know, it's been out in a shed. What can we expect? This whole board, actually we have a couple of boards that need replaced. This one's curling up, so hopefully I can like nail it back down into place or find a screw or something. We are running out of daylight. We're also running out of time here in Maine. What I think I'm gonna do is I wanted to do this after I painted here, but I have the stain for sure. And so I think what I'm gonna do is stain this and get this done tonight. And then we'll go get paint tomorrow, and then we'll just have to be more careful when we're painting. We'll just have to put down some dropped cloths and stuff, but I don't want to waste daylight or time, so we are going to stain the deck right now. So you can see that I am edging around here, and all of a sudden I'm starting to feel sprinkles. Here's the deal. If you waited until you were gonna have an absolutely dry day here in Maine, you'd be waiting for a long time. So I'm gonna just muscle ahead because the weather report says a slight chance of light rain in the next hour, and then the rest of the day, there's no chance of rain. So push forward. Looks so good, at least on top. We'll hit this with the white paint when we're doing the trim, but tomorrow we'll get the paint and finish it up. Okay, so we did the touch-up paint on the house and the trim, and it is looking so much better, but it's just making these doors look a little bit more tired. So we are going to paint the doors, just do a quick touch-up paint. So the door color is called Stratton Blue, and apparently I like that color. So if I get some paint on my shirt, you won't be able to even tell, but it's a beautiful color for the door or wherever. So we're gonna get this on. We're not gonna have to do as careful of a job because we're just doing touch-up paint and just freshening it up. So here we go. Apparently there's some dogs fighting somewhere. Isn't this a pretty color? I mean, it's kind of like dulled out here in this room, but once we're finished, you'll see it outside, and it's so nice. I guess I should put some tape around the knob. Okay. This is the lock that we're replacing, and you can see how big and bulky it is, and for whatever reason people were having a difficult time unlocking it. Hopefully we can create more ease for our guests here, but look at the size of this, and it takes 4 batteries. Yeah, so we're gonna get rid of this and you won't believe the size difference. So now that we've got this all set up, now that we've got everything painted, now it's time to go shopping to get some accessories and make our porch beautiful. Very Maine nautical. Especially kind of like that one. So I like the boxwood wreaths on my front door, but they're a little small and they're looking really tired. So I'm gonna get a couple of new ones here. So I think this little bench is gonna be perfect for our front porch. It's the right color, and I like the X's on the back because it mimics the two front doors. So there we go. Their clearance aisle is like way more stocked than mine. It's so good. I wish I could take a lot of this home, but I cannot. I was looking for outdoor rugs, and this might be a little bit too big for my front porch. I'm not sure, but it's 75% off, making it $35 for a 6x9. I just don't know. I might take a chance on it. This is another option. It's a lot smaller, but very, very cute, and it's reversible. So there's dark side or light side. And then also I'm noticing this one too. I might check that one out. And then also this one, but this one's not my favorite in comparison. And then we need a couple of throw pillows. So let's see what they've got. Oh, well, that's kind of perfect since it's an Airbnb. So that's for sure. I'm liking that vibe. What are you doing, honey?
We had a big crack in our driveway.
Yeah?
And I had to fill it.
Uh-huh.
The problem is the Maine weather is not conducive to drying out. So it's been raining and cloudy, so I'm trying to make a little greenhouse. It's just, so there's going to be airflow and heat inside the place where the crack is to let it dry. So when it rains, it won't get wet. But if there's any sunlight at all, it'll heat it up and there'll be airflow.
I think it's genius.
Thank you.
Most of this is actually flowers, but these are weeds right here. And then we've got some weeds intermixed with the Queen Anne's lace here, so we'll get these weeds pulled. These are daylilies back here, but they're kind of past the season.
You and I can weather any storm. Before I sleep, hear the crickets.
All right, these cobweb infested things need to go. Okay, so here we are. We're losing some daylight, but we're gonna finish this up really quick. That looks a lot better. What we are gonna do right now is switch out this light fixture, and then we're gonna decorate the front porch. And if we have time, we're gonna do a couple things on the garage. I do wanna show you one thing on the garage in just a second, but first, let's get this light changed. So I just got this one. It's pretty inexpensive at Lowe's, so we're gonna install that, and hopefully it will look a little bit better than this one. I mean, this one's really great. It's just, as you can see, like super tired looking. I wish you could see how many bugs were in here. This is so gross. That's disgusting. And I hope it just doesn't explode all over this newly stained deck.
Even in the hard times, you and I can weather any storm.
Is that a wasp nest back there? I'm gonna try to like fish that out. That can't be safe. Ugh.
No limit to what we can do. Oh, we know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life.
So as you will see, this is the first place I ever used the magnetic door or carriage door on the garage doors. You've seen me use them in my Arizona property. You've seen me use them in my Florida properties. And this was actually the original place I used them. But as you can see, something is not quite right. So I think some of our guests have had a little fun, maybe the kids, they're magnetic. So we've got to fix that. And it's like a 2-second fix. So we're gonna do that now. Like right there. All right, now we're gonna decorate the porch.
Before I sleep, hear the crickets, see the moon, side by side and through. No limit to what we can do. Oh, we know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and
I have a little aqua pillow that I'm gonna pull out and see if it works with the doors. I'm not sure if it will work. And then also I am debating hanging these on either side of the garage here. We'll see. I'm gonna think about that for a minute and we'll see what I decide to do.
even in the hard time, you and I can weather any storm.
Okay, some future projects I want to do is I want to plant some more hydrangeas for one, but I also want to do shutters on all of these windows, and actually the windows on the front of the house, and maybe like a little flower box here. I think that would really add a lot. So cute.
So our curb appeal makeover is done and I'm thrilled with the results. We redid the driveway, resealed it. We made little tweaks on the garage. We put in a new light fixture. We kind of gave it a paint job. We redid the porch, made that look all fresh and new. And then we gave it some personality with a little bit of decor. It wouldn't be designed to the nines without that for sure. I'm just thrilled with how it looks. And I hope that the people coming here make many wonderful memories. I hope that they feel like it's such a warm and inviting entrance that that will start their vacations off right. We've made so many fun and fond memories here in this Harpswell home, and we hope that other people do as well. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If so, here's another one that I think you like as well. And to all of my DIY goddesses, you are more powerful than you know. We'll see you next time. Bye.